Why will an auto repair shop not allow me to bring my own parts? Let's get it out here, put it on the table, and just answer it once and for all. Now, y'all know me. I believe in honesty, and the biggest reason is profit, okay? I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of having that conversation or that dialogue because it is important for a business to have profit. And when you look at auto repair parts, over half of their profit comes from the parts. Okay. Now, I know there's many of you who will jump into the comments and you'll say, that's not right. You shouldn't make any money on the parts. You should make it on the labor. Well, you see, this system has been developed by people far smarter than I am, making it fair for the auto repair consumer. And that is because if we were going to make the same amount of profit off of labor, current labor rates would be substantially higher. Now, some estimates say that if auto repair had followed inflation, auto repair would already be at over $300 an hour. Now, we know that that probably would not be very sustainable in today's market. And we also know that it wouldn't be very fair for a consumer if we charged everyone $300 an hour. And in that case, if you were supplying your own part, it would probably be closer to $500 or $600 an hour. If you were doing that and someone had a really big job and they needed an engine or a transmission or they needed some very in-depth work, and then someone else needed something very small, it would mean that the person who needed something very small would pay substantially more, and it would mean that somebody who needed something very large would pay substantially less, making it less fair for everyone. And that's why most shops will not entertain the idea of using client supplied parts. Secondly, liability. Many of our insurance companies will not cover client supplied parts. And there's a few reasons for this. Now, there's some back and forth because the UCC, or Universal Commercial Code, does state some things about parts and if we have to warranty them even if you supplied them. And there's some back and forth on the legitimacy of that in the auto repair space. So I'm not going to get too far into that. However, there have been a number of court cases shown where a consumer brought their own parts and the shop ended up having to replace those consumers' parts when they failed due to a court order. Now, I don't think that's very fair. And now here's the next one, right? And this is probably the biggest one out of all of them. They're all important, but this is probably the bigger one. The reason they won't allow you to do this is because you will clog the shop up. You're going to bring your own parts. There's a high likelihood it's a lower quality, right? You can buy these parts from some of the same places we can, but a lot of folks show up with parts they bought on Amazon or they bought on eBay. Many of them are counterfeit or they're the wrong parts. That clogs our shop up. We get that car in, we get the parts out. Now we've wasted time today looking at this automobile that we may not be able to get fixed. You're upset at us because the car didn't get fixed. We're upset at you because you brought us the wrong parts. And it causes these communication issues and it causes frustration on both sides. It's easier to just avoid this. Now, many shops still install client supplied parts. And if that's the case, I would highly suggest you ask them this Christmas season if they're okay. Do they need any donations to keep the doors open and to feed their families? Because I'm going to tell you something. As an auto repair shop owner and a podcaster in the automotive space, I talk to these shops all the time, and many of those who are operating that way are financially struggling. Or they're paying their technicians and service advisors subpar wages so they can make up the difference somewhere and still pay the bills. This is a business like any other business, and I understand it's expensive, and it sucks when you have to pay a bill that you don't want to pay. But I've seen many of you buying $5,000 and $6,000 TVs. I've seen many of you at the lines at the theme park spending $2,000 and $3,000 for a day at the theme park. I understand those things are fun, and I don't want to take those things away from you. However, it is still very important for those of us who own auto repair shops to make enough money that we can do those same things with our families. Just my opinion. I know I'm going to get some hate in the comments for this, so y'all drop it down below.